Hi everyone, welcome to your March Alchemy Scope. So let's take a look and see what is the macrocycle, what is the narrative that is underpinning the energy set and the growth cycle for all of us, for the collective. So to do that, we look at the Sabian Symbol, and this month's new moon is also an annular solar eclipse. And it's happening at 8 degrees 12 minutes Pisces on the 26th of February 2017. At that point, the Sabian symbol is a jockey spurs his horse, intent on outdistancing his rivals. So if we look at the keynote for this particular symbol, we have intense mobilization of energy and skill in the drive for success in any social performance, affected by the competitive spirit. This is talking about every superfluous weight, every unnecessary consideration is to be dismissed in the one-pointed attempt to reach one's social goal. One of the key words for this symbol is self-quickening. So let's take a look. That's the energy for all of us. The collective is going through a self-quickening portal of evolution, okay? And again, the keynote for this symbol, intense mobilization of energy and skill.
Hi, Sagittarius.
In the drive for success in any social performance, affected by the competitive spirit. Okay, so let's take a look and see what is the specific narrative for your particular sign.
Sag, welcome to your alchemic unfolding journey. What is the narrative growing you over the course of the March Pisces new moon cycle? So as you can see here, as I've done since January, we have two forms, the square and the circle. And what this is reflecting is two branches to the Sagittarius evolutionary path. It's a bit of a bifurcation. Oftentimes what I'm finding, as I've been saying in the other scopes, is that the stories are the same or similar but nuanced. It is occasional that a different narrative comes up, but even those different narratives are actually connected because they're both you. It's just what is unfolding in these nuanced kind of breakaway paths, okay? So as you tune in to select one, I am going to choose the Carolyn Mace archetype growth edge, the archetypal quality set that's wanting to be matured for square and for circle. Okay, so, and then for circle. Okay, so let's peek at those now, and then we will really look at them when we look at the readings. Okay, so beggar is coming up for square growth edge, saboteur for the circles. All right, we're going to talk about those after we do the reveal. If you need more time to select, please put the video on pause. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and do the reveal. All right, so let's start with the squares. Now, the yellow bordered cards here are the Bral Talej. The link is below in the description box. The white bordered cards are the Siri deck. That's my own deck that I use for my communications with spirit. So let's talk about what's coming up in the center. The tarot, by the way, are the Druidcraft. In the center, we have strength and energy. So there's vital energy force. That's kind of the center of this theme here. You have energy for something, okay, for the squares. Here we have the Princess of Pentacles coming up. Now, the Princess of Pentacles is talking about There's a groundedness to her. There's a studious nature to the Princess of Pentacles. This is like the Page of Pentacles in the regular tarot. So the Princess of Pentacles is somebody good-natured, grounded, studious, and self-reliant, which is I want you to listen to as we go through this. So there's a self-reliance that's coming about for the Sag squares over this March cycle, and you have vitality for that. There's also new learning here. There's a studious nature here. So there's vitality for self-reliance and learning what you need to learn, and that which delights you as well. But this is the deal. For the Sag squares, at the root, at the foundation of your reality, you are foreseeing that there's going to be a death or a transformation of some sort happening. And for you, it has to do with home. So death, you're foreseeing that something's dying. Something is dying. And it could be a person in your life that actually is ill. Maybe they are going through a process, preparing for a transition, but not necessarily. For some of you, you're thinking about the effort that you have to put in your home environment. So whether it's with a spouse, whether it's with a child, whether it's with roommates, whether it is with neighbors, even in your area, there's effort that you need to put in to your home living day-to-day experience. And for you, you have strength activated to become self-reliant. So what I see for some of you here is that for those of you with a spouse or a roommate situation, there is a death of that situation and a transformation that you're desiring. Okay? And you have the vitality to actually make it come. So here, in fact, look at this. Emotionally, you are going to be imagining the new picture, which is a beautiful thing. Spiritually, let's take a look at kind of what's underlying this. So with regards to people, and again, this could have to do with roommates, neighbors, those that live in your home or near you, near where you live. With regards to people, and with regards to the chemistry that you have with those people, there is lying happening. There's deception occurring in your world. And that's what they're giving you. So they're giving you falsities. They're giving you lies. They're giving you mistruths. And the chemistry with those people is failing, let's say. And so for a lot of you with this picture, with this narrative, the squares that are really feeling into this narrative, there is a transformation that's calling, okay? Now, if we take a look here, interesting, you're getting beggar as the growth edge over the course of this cycle. And beggar has to do with moving out of dependencies, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. Dependence on others without putting your participatory effort into it, which life doesn't work that way. I mean, nature does not work that way. So when we become non-participatory and simply dependent on other, there's an imbalance. So that's the growth edge. What wants to be evolved is confronting empowerment at the level of physical survival. Okay? So confronting your own empowerment, strength and vitality for your own self-reliant path. All right? This could not be a more perfect growth journey for you. So confronting empowerment at the level of physical survival awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and importantly, self-esteem. That's the growth edge for you. This whole skill set here is to be matured over the course of this cycle, okay? Now, Sag circles, let's take a look here. Guidance is coming up in the center of the reading, as is the Prince of Swords. This is also the Knight of Swords in the regular tarot. This is about taking action. This is about moving forward with clarity. Because the Knight is inherently youthful, there can be an impetuous nature to it. But this can be about taking initial action forward with new clarity, okay? There's intelligence here too as well. There's an intellectual capacity to move to a next step, let's say. Now, again, these do have similar themes. This particular one is pointing to spouse. Not all of you are going to be married or with a partner, with a love partner, but it matters not, because this card can have to do with roommates, neighbors, situations where you're intimately linked and maybe bound, okay? So let's take a look. In the spiritual sector, writing is coming up. This is about expression, spiritual expression, expressing who you are as a being. Leaving, ending. This is talking about the death that came up in the other reading. So there's some level of self-expression that has to do with you leaving, making a move, maybe to move on. By the way, many signs have had this same theme about moving on. This is also about improving. Another card that just came up for another sign about self-improving, okay? And this has to do, it's linked with some sort of an intimate partnership that you have with one other person, a group of people. Again, it could be a network, roommates, neighbors. There's some collective that you're a part of or some partnership that you're a part of, whether it be spouse or long-term love relationship, or even it could even be like a parent situation, a parent-child situation. And by the way, this could have to do with a younger person. So some of you, in some cases, this has to do with a son in your life, okay? For you, there's something about you bringing forward an ending with regards to that partnership, okay? Whatever that partnership looks like, okay? Now, it's interesting because at the head of the reading, in the mental sector, you're going to be thinking about fear. You're going to have some wariness and fear around being alone. So even though your guidance is to make some move with regards to this particular Knight of Swords that is a person in your life, or the quality set of moving forward in a new direction, a new path that wants to come forward, here you have some fear coming up in your mind. So your thoughts have some, you're going to have some maybe automatic default thoughts about fear. Can I do it by myself? Can I be alone? You know? Indeed, look at this. This particular project or this particular journey that you're on right now is a lesson. So you're learning something about what's happening with regards to your self-sufficiency, your capacity to be an individuated person without being dependent on the other. And that's the beggar that's coming up in the square. So for the square formations, this is about really establishing your self-esteem. Here, there's also a lesson with regards to the fear of loneliness or being alone, not having that partnership as part of your life, okay? Then in the emotional sector, now I pulled another tarot card because I wanted clarity. Many things came up, and I wanted to know exactly what this was talking about, because emotionally, many things could mean you're having many emotions happening. And indeed, if you're growing, if you're following guidance with regards to this person or this quality set that's activated within you, you better believe there's going to be a lot of feelings going on, because you're working it out. You're navigating the journey of your evolution. But look at this. The Ace of Swords came out because I wanted clarity around specifically with regards to many things. What is it? Here, this is clarity. This is decision making. So what this is saying is emotionally, many things in your life are calling for clarity and decisions. For you, indeed, there is, with regards to this situation that needs to come to a close, you do need to confront this fear of loneliness and self-sufficiency and clarity. Emotionally, you're going to feel like maybe I'm able now to have some clarity. That's what I'm getting. That emotionally over the course of March, you might feel, you know what? I can get clear on this. I can meet myself. I can grow myself in the way that's calling. Now, let's take a look at the, your growth edge here. Okay. Now you're receiving Saboteur as the growth edge for the month. And this is about moving out of inducing self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. So it's either self-sabotaging or sabotaging other. That's what's wanting to be evolved. It's time to up-level your frequency of being human. Here, this is about highlighting, look at this, your fear of self-empowerment. That's exactly what this is, everybody. So the growth edge for you is perfectly reflecting really where your thoughts are going to be focused, because your focus over the course of March, at least the default, the narrative that we're tapping into now in February, is that there's going to be fear showing up. So Saboteur is saying highlighting your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Circles, this is the growth edge. This is what's calling for you to mature it this month. And if you do this, if you heed these messages, which are very meaningful, these are very authentic messages coming through here for you, this will be healed. This will be dissolved. This will be reloved, reincorporated. The fear will be diffused. But you have to do the work. You have to put in the effort for the growth, right? So listen, for Sag, squares, and circles, as I do every month, as I've done for the last 2 years, I've also pulled your I Ching to bring another layer to the unfolding story for your March, and your Dakini embodiment. So to find out those for January, February, March, and April will be uploaded shortly as well, and to learn about my many services that I offer people to help them get clear and get aligned for the empowerment journey that is not just activated for you very clearly this month, but for humans as individuals, and on the whole, humanity as a whole is up leveling, but there's a requirement to step up to meet it. Otherwise, the psyche just breaks, and we're seeing lots of that happening. So if you want clarity, you can go to the library for you, which is at thealchemyofholism.com/library. Okay, Sagittarius, so I'm wishing you a beautiful month ahead with a lot of growth under your wings. And I'll see you on the other side. Bye.